there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a coloring tag that I created called the Coloring Memories coloring tag. And I thought while I was answering these questions, I would do a little bit of coloring with my crayons because this is one of my favorite memories as a child, coloring with crayons. So I am going to work in 50 Vacation Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. This book is great for crayons because it has very open line art, and I feel like crayons are a good medium to get in there. And you know, you don't always have the sharpest tips, so it's nice to have a bigger bigger image to color. So let me pick out a few colors here. I know I love this elephant so much. I'm very tempted to color the elephant a different color than gray. But I know this is boring. I think we're going to start with the sand because that's safe and I know kind of what colors I would use to color that. So we're going to do a little bit of this tan, a little bit of the goldenrod, and maybe some of the peach. And we'll see if maybe I can get a nice tan sand there. Okay, so first question is, do you have, or did you have a favorite coloring book or coloring books as a child? And I did. I really loved all of the Disney books. Anytime I could get my hands on a Disney book, I was super happy. I also had a couple of My Little Pony books that I really liked, and a few like Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, those kind of books. I was a little bitty child in the 80s, so definitely had, you know, my fair share of those kinds of books around when I wanted to color. Yeah, and I wasn't super picky, but it definitely had to have some kind of cute character somewhere in it. Like I didn't want like Transformers or He-Man or anything like that. I wanted the cute stuff. Number 2, what was your go-to art supply as a child? And you're looking at it. These Crayola crayons were the best thing on the face of the planet. Like when I got these, every Christmas, I would get a set of 64 crayons, 64 Crayola crayons. And that same morning, I would take them all out. I would put them in color order, which is kind of what you see that I'm still doing with my crayons. They had to be in some kind of color grouping. It wasn't necessarily color order, but they definitely had to be grouped together by their color. Because when you get the Crayolas, they're just all over the place. And it's just like, this doesn't make any kind of sense to me. How can anyone color like that? But that was, you know, that's just how my brain works. And yeah, I just remember just being so excited to get those Crayola crayons, and it had to be Crayola. It couldn't be the rose art. Like those were not at the same level. And that was typically what you got at school, were the rose art crayons. And I just remember those, like as soon as I would start coloring with them, they would like break in about 2 seconds. And yeah, I was not very pleased. Not very pleased with those rose art crayons. So definitely the Crayolas are my favorite art supply from when I was a child. Now I know a lot of other people use like markers or paints or, you know, different things like that, watercolor paints, but definitely always Crayola crayons for me. Or even colored pencils. There were colored pencils that we had as kids too. I remember I did have a couple of those sets, but those were mostly for things at school. I only thought you could use them at school. I didn't think you could use them in coloring books. So yeah, only crayons. Okay, so number 3, did you draw or color more as a child? I definitely colored more. I did go through a little stage when I was a little bit older in middle school, where I was drawing a little bit. But still, through the whole thing, the whole time, from when I very first learned to color, I always was coloring. I just loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Okay, that kind of looks like sand, right? It looks pretty good. And if you do light layers with crayons, you can get, you know, you can blend things pretty well and layer colors and all that stuff. And the majority of the white space on this paper is disappearing as I'm layering things, so hopefully that will keep happening if I just keep adding layers. And I know it gets to a certain point where you can't add any more layers, but okay. All right, I think that sand is cute. I might add a little bit more brown in there. Let me grab a good brown. What do we got here? Oh, just brown. That'll work. Okay, next number is 4. Number 4 is, do you have any fond memories of coloring as a child or as an adult? But definitely my fond memories of coloring. I mean, you know, I'd like to color now because it's relaxing, and I've colored a couple of times with my kids, and that was really great. But my fondest memories of coloring are definitely coloring with my own parents when I was younger. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's kind of what instilled the love of coloring in me. I still have, which I've brought down here, I'm going to share with you guys. I still have some coloring books that I colored in with my parents. And they were actually my mom's coloring books when she was in high school first. So yeah, they're really old. All right, so I'm going to show you those. So first one is this Donald Duck coloring book. You can tell, I mean, it's loved, right? It's the paper is, you can tell these are both in the Sword and the Stone one. So these ones were two of my favorites to look through because there was a lot of coloring pages done in here. So this one is actually done by my dad. And then, like, let me see. I have a couple in here where I've actually got my whole name in there. So if you've got some weird blurs, that's why. Oh yeah, so like this one here is my mom. Yeah, and they just really instilled a love of coloring in me. This one's my little brother. So we, like, all 4 of us have colored in this book, which I think is just so fun. So fun. Those are both mine. And I think I had a couple of them where they were dated, and one of them said like 1992 for some of the ones that I did, 91. Yeah, so these are, yeah, so there's like 91 there. And that one's 92. So that's the difference between in a year of coloring. But yeah, I love to look at these because you can really see just how fun is that, you know? All right, so, and then in this one, same kind of thing. You just got some really, so that was my mom. That one was my best friend in 1991. Here's one that I did. So yeah, it's just, I've always been coloring. Always, always, always. Love both. Yeah, I love these books, and I love to look at them because I can just remember the feeling of just sitting and chilling and just having a nice time making pretty pages with my mom and dad. And my parents got divorced when I was like 9. But I have those, I mean, I have memories after they got divorced of them sitting and coloring with me. So they were nice enough to, you know, still be able to get along for the most part in front of us after they got divorced, and still kind of spent some time together with us, which was really nice. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, just looking at those just brings back all kinds of fond memories. All right, I'm not sure what I want to do here. This one's kind of, yeah, I don't color the same way with crayons anymore either. So like you could see on the other ones, I was really like heavily outlining the lines and then, you know, coloring in lighter on the inside, but I don't quite color the same way anymore, which I feel is fine because, you know, everybody grows and changes and does their own thing. Yeah, okay, so number 5, what was your first adult coloring book? My first adult coloring book, I believe, was Enchanted Forest, which I have here. And I think, because if I look back, so this is from 2016, but maybe the Kirby, because I also have Anamorphia, because I couldn't remember. It's either Enchanted Forest or Anamorphia, but I don't think I dated the ones that I finished in Anamorphia, unfortunately. So I don't know which one I got first. I'm gonna, maybe it was Anamorphia, because this one, this was the first one I did in this book, and it looks a little rough. So that's a possibility. It might be that one. But yeah, both of these were very instrumental in forming my whole coloring journey, I guess. Number 6, what was the first adult coloring supply you purchased? And for me, I think that it was I bought some Marco Ruffin pencils. I was looking for some kind of pencils to color with that were inexpensive and that weren't Crayola. And those were the first ones that I came across, I think, on Amazon. And so I purchased them and started using those, and I still have them. I still use them on occasion. I feel like they're very good pencils for light. They're not super pigmented, but they do work pretty well. They work well as, you know, over top of markers. They work well, especially for like pastel colors and pages, things that you want to be very light in tone. I think those are good pencils for that. They blend really well. So yeah, that was kind of, I kind of had to learn how to use them. And then almost immediately after that, after I started coloring with those, I was like, I'm going to get these other things. So I got some Prismacolors and just immediately fell in love with those. And I think that's, you know, I think that's a lot that kind of forms your whole coloring preferences, you know, what pencils you first use to learn to use. And yeah, so, I mean, I learned with Prismacolors and Marco Ruffin. I prefer softer pencils typically. And, you know, that's probably a big reason why, is because I started coloring with those guys first. So yeah. Let's see. Number 7. How did you get into adult coloring? I think that I was just at a store. Maybe it was a Target. And they had a coloring book. They had one of those coloring books, either the Anamorphia or the Enchanted Forest. And I was like, well, that seems kind of cool. I used to love coloring. I like still coloring with my kids in their coloring books. Maybe I would like this kind of book. And so I bought it and fell in love. And that's all there is to that. Yeah, just really, really loved. Have always loved coloring, but, you know, got into adult coloring kind of like that. Number 8, who was your first YouTube colorist? My first was Dee Dee Willingham. I found her channel and fell in love not only with her, but her artwork. The way that she colored, I thought was just really, really awesome. Another one that was really early in there was Peta Hewitt. She taught me so much in how to color. Like I I learned so much from both of them. And I'm so thankful that they had channels out there that, and they're, you know, that they really inspired me not only to color, but also to make my own coloring channel. So yeah, those ladies are awesome. And if you have not checked them out, I will definitely be linking their channels in the description for you to go check out, because they're amazing. PETA, I don't know that PETA does as many videos as maybe she's not doing videos anymore. I can't remember, but she still has all of her videos, you know, tutorials and stuff available on YouTube. And Dee Dee still does live streaming every Monday and Wednesday morning in the US. So yeah, she's awesome. They're both awesome. Number 9. I'm on number 9 already, and I've only colored the sand. Well, I wonder if I'm going to be able to get any more done on this book today, on this page. Okay, number 9. So I forgot a question in my own tag, so I had to pop in here and do this number, which is number 9. What is the first page you remember being really proud of? And the first one I remember being really proud of is this double page from Kirby. I was very proud of the shading on the deer's faces, and then how I did like different color palettes on each of the animals, but it still looks pretty cohesive as a whole. I know you can't see the whole thing, but yeah, that one I was really proud of. And of course the next one as well, which all of these beautiful seahorses and then all of the things. And I drew in a couple of fun little doodles back here too. So yeah, those two I was really proud of. All right, back to the other questions. What made you think yes, I am now definitely an adult colorist? I'm absolutely one of these people who is an adult colorist. I think once I started really getting into like the YouTube channels, watching the YouTube channels, and when I finally ended up making my own Instagram account, then I was like, yeah, yep, I'm one of these people. I'm gonna be doing this hobby for forever. I think it's you know, one of the things that I've always done, whether it's coloring with crayons or, you know, coloring with stupid expensive pencils. It's something that just brings me peace and joy, and I'm just going to probably always be doing it. So yeah. Okay. And then a bonus question that I have is, who in the coloring community do you remember reaching out to you and making you feel welcome and a part of this wonderful community? And I, of course, I mean, I talk about them all the time, so it's probably not going to be much of a surprise, but 2 of my lovely friends, Corey from Colorfully Optimistic and Emma from Emma Colors 2020, they were the first ladies who really like included me in stuff and kind of just like adopted me, like strong-armed me. They're like, you're going to be with us now. You're ours. And I loved it. I love their senses of humor. I love their channels. I love the effort and time that they put into their channels, and the fact that they try so hard to make sure that they do the best for the community that they can. And I'm always inspired when they put out a video and, you know, think about the time that it takes them to do what they do. So thank you, my lovely, beautiful friends. And yeah, and I'm hoping that I've kind of passed that on. I'm hoping that somewhere out there, somebody feels that I was kind of the person that made them feel welcome or included. So just try to pass it on if you can. You know, if you feel like you're in, quote unquote, you know, you found your place in this community and you feel like you feel comfortable in your place in the community, just reach out to somebody who is just starting or you know, has either just started a channel, just made an Instagram page, reach out and just tell them hi. Tell them thanks for being here. I love what you're doing. Keep going. Be a positive light. And I think that that's one of the things that this community is really good about doing is we are pretty darn inclusive. Like there's not a whole lot of drama, and there's so much positivity and support. I just love it. I mean, of course you're going to have bad apples here and there, but for the most part, it's not an issue, at least for me. And I'm lucky that it's not been an issue, you know. I feel super lucky to have that be the case. All right, so there is my little sand castle and my sand for my cute little elephant. I think I will continue coloring this in crayons, and hopefully I will be able to post this on social media, or you'll see it in my completed pages at the end of the month. I am going to tag a few people, and then, you know, and as normal, if these wonderful people do not feel like doing this tag or don't have time, that's totally fine. This is just a fun thing. And as well, if you see this and you haven't been tagged by anybody and you feel like doing it, you're more than welcome to go ahead and film your own version and make sure to tag me in it so that I can see it. Yeah, so my 3 ladies that I'm going to tag, I'm going to tag Megan from Disney Meg's Coloring. I'm going to tag Noelle from Influenced Colorist. And I'm going to tag Kay from Coloring with Kay. So if you guys want to do that, I'd be real appreciative. But again, no pressure if you don't. I just thought this was a fun little thing to chat about and to learn about some of your favorite, you know, YouTubers. So that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.